Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to NewsNation, where right and left come to be reasonable. Question: do you see something missing in America right now? I do. And it became really obvious to me based on a few new reports. For example, you see that consumer sentiment got more positive recently? So we had 5 straight months of going down, and then in May, it shot up 12 points. Why? The quick answer is because Trump relaxed the tariffs with China. This is interpreted by one side as weakness, right? It's being called the taco trade by investors buying on this news. It stands for Trump always chickens out. The media loved presenting this to the president, and social media was abuzz with his expected reaction.
Analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. The sad thing is now when I make a deal with them, it's something much more reasonable. They'll say, oh, he was chicken. He was chicken.
Now, I was a little surprised that he didn't say, taco, I'm no taco, Biden's a taco. Social media is now full of AI videos and memes of Trump as a chicken or eating tacos. Is it funny? Yeah, sure. It's funny. But it's also just another cheap gotcha, and it's why he hates the media, and it's why a lot of people don't trust us the way they should, because it's obvious what you were doing there. You were just baiting them. And I actually believe that there is a metaphor in that. I actually think this is a demonstration of what's holding America back. Look, criticism is part of life. It's certainly part of politics. It's part of what I do on a regular basis, more than most, perhaps. However, as any spouse or parent or employer knows, it is better when criticism is constructive, right? But let's be honest, that doesn't work in the surreal world of party politics. They're all about the other side being worse. Negativity is a proxy for meaningful insight. All attack, all the time, on everything. And you know this. And we saw it again in the latest in-depth post-mortem study for the Democrats on why they lost the 2024 election. The study found they lost support among nearly all of the key demographics. Why? Because Trump sucks is not enough. We get what they are against, and there is merit to the criticisms. But America is about more than what you are against. Americans want to know what you are for. And there, Democrats either seem to be abnormal or absent when it came to what they thought would make things better. The study also said they need systemic change to what and whom they represent. See, that's what I mean about being in the business of better. I just don't say it because it's alliterative. Many support the president despite his execution because they believe that at least he's trying. He's trying to clean up the border. He's trying to help workers. He's trying to make deals. Now, you can disagree with that appraisal of Trump, but you need to recognize the guiding light: optimism. Americans are literally a manifestation of an act of faith. This place was never supposed to be. It is the only place of its kind because we stubbornly refuse to quit on the idea. People want reason to believe in better, even if they're not sure you can deliver. They still want you to make them believe. This is proven by that consumer sentiment survey. Sure, less tariffs means lower prices, but that's not all people reported. And no, Trump isn't right to say we were dead 6 months ago. It's not true. But consumer sentiment was going up before Trump paused the tariffs. Why? Because consumers were hopeful. that there may be better deals to come for the economy because of what Trump was trying. Look, I've said from the beginning, tariffs are a gamble. They are only worth it if they yield better deals for us as consumers and, more importantly, as workers. But it seems that too many of you just want Trump to fail, even if it means the country suffers. And this is where I got to stand and say no, okay? This is where politics becomes poisonous to the American people. Are you somebody who gets upset when I say, gee, I hope the Trump administration gets some wins on trade? Or I hope that Trump gets a win by getting Hamas to accept the ceasefire deal that Israel has already accepted? I really think people have to start thinking about what they actually want. Do you just want advantage over Trump or the Democrats, or do you want the advancement of the country? Are you an American or an Americant? This is why I caution Democrats they need to move past constantly praying for Trump's downfall. Not because I have a horse in the party race. I am against the party system, okay? But what do I want? I want better for your family. I want better for my family. I'm worried about my oldest who just got out of college and what her future holds. And she is luckier than most. First and foremost, though, I want better for us, and I don't care who makes it happen. I don't even care that much how, to be honest. Now, I'm not sure how many in the arena really feel that same way, or at least would admit it. Besides, even if you don't see the virtue in what I'm arguing, you better see the folly of just slinging mud with Trump. That's his happy place. You know what I mean? So even if you only care about winning, trying to out MAGA won't work, okay? Another example, the trade court hemming in Trump on tariffs. I am not surprised from a legal perspective, okay? Trump likely exceeded the authority Congress granted him to employ emergency tariffs. Okay, that's what the IEEPA, that's what that statute says pretty clearly. There's a standard, and you can totally understand why the court said many of his tariffs were ultra vires, meaning beyond his power, because of the standard. Same on immigration. You have to respect due process. But why are people celebrating the ruling? Respect for the law? I don't know. I don't know if that's not taking a back seat to just simply relishing Trump losing, even if it means less chance of getting things done that make the country better. Now, I'm okay with the first, but not the second. The struggle in America is real for too many in too many ways. Small businesses are vulnerable right now. People are scared of being ripped out of the only lives they know all over this country without cause or because after entering the wrong way, they've done everything the right way. Let me tell you something. No matter what your struggle, and everybody has one, we all know one thing. Nothing will ever get better in your life if you are not all in on getting to a better place. Are we as a nation? Now, you know who is? NewsNation. That's why NewsNation went to East Palestine when other people weren't. That's why we have both sides. That's why we, do everything we can to get lawmakers from both parties for you to see them together on the screen. That's why. Because we are making an investment in optimism. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of potential upside for us when it comes to trade deals, especially with China. They are hurting economically, and they need us as much or more as we need them. But we have to get past trying to bring down whoever is in power. We have to change petty interest in advantage over a side for the optimism of advancement for the country as a whole. You can look at what's going on now and see a recipe for disaster or a recipe for better. But I'm telling you, where China is involved, the tariffs are dicey, but there is potential upside because China is not the hegemon that people think they are. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.